Hey guys, welcome to our new moon in Aries 2023. We have arrived. The turning point is here. This is the year that is going to be transitioning us in a lot of ways into a much more palpable experience, tangible experience of the age of Aquarius energy that we are transitioning into. The sun and the moon aligning together in the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of Aries. This, every year when this occurs, this is what gives us our natural new year. This starts a new energetic cycle that is going to carry through all the 12 signs of the zodiacs and the new moon phases associated with that. When we are talking about a new moon in Aries, this is the beginning of our astrological energetic lunar year, and so we have officially arrived at our astrological new year, you guys. Happy new year, happy new moon in Aries. This is a big one. And another thing that the new moon in Aries does for us each year, aside from marking the beginning of our astrological energetic year, it also, through observing and analyzing the chart that is present for our new moon in Aries, helps us get an understanding of what is going to be growing, what is going to be unfolding throughout the course of this entire astrological lunar year that is upon us now. And so we look, when we're looking at our new moon chart, we look at the new moons every month, because the new moon energy, what is that? That is the seed plant energy. That is the origin point energy. That is the energy that is going to be growing and developing and folding over the course of whatever lunar cycle is being activated. But when it's the new moon in Aries, this is giving us a glimpse of the entire year when we do it the same way. So we're going to be looking at energy today in the context of our new moon in Aries chart that not only has to do with what's going on the day of our new moon, also the month, our Aries lunar cycle, and our astrological lunar cycle, this entire 2023 lunar cycle, astrological year now, from this new moon in Aries until our new moon in Aries next year. So big day, you guys, important energy that we have going on. And honestly, like the new moon in Aries is always an important point in time every year, because like I said, it is like this launch pad basically for what's going to unfold throughout the course of that year. But this year it's packing more of a serious punch, I guess we could say, and that's because of the proximity that it is falling within in the context of the equinox. If you guys watched my equinox video yesterday, I've already talked a little bit about this, but we have our new moon in Aries, you guys, happening at 0 degrees of the sign of Aries, the very first degree of the sign of Aries. Do you understand the level of newness and freshness and just like life force energy spark that is being ignited with this new moon process and is being represented through our journey through 2023 this year? 0 degrees of Aries, that is the origin point, okay? That is the initial fuse. That is the initial spark of life force energy that kicks off the journey around the entire zodiac, which is basically kind of a metaphor for the cycle of life, okay? So extreme new beginnings are coming at us throughout the course of this 2023 year. I do believe, based on some of the numerology present, kind of the way that this chart and energy is presenting, and some of the symbolism associated with it as well, that what we are moving into now throughout the rest of this 2023 and part of 2024 as we head towards the new moon in Aries next year has a lot to do with what's been going on actually over the past 3 years, building into this moment now that is then going to be really playing a majorly significant role in carrying us forward the next 3 years as well. Let's talk about numerology that's involved in this chart today. First of all, you guys, I just want to say there is some serious yard work going on outside of my window right now. I apologize for that. I'm super sorry if there's really loud background noise going on. There's nothing I can do about it, and this is literally the only time I have to get this video done, and this is an important video, so I want to make sure I get it done. So again, I super apologize for the sound of yard machines going on in the background. Let's talk about the numerology of this chart, you guys. It's really crazy, okay? This new moon in Aries happening in the same 24-hour period as the equinox itself. This is really talking about some really profound beginnings. Of course, the equinox is also resonating to the first day of spring. This is the return of the light. This is also rebirth energy. The first degree of Aries, this is rebirth energy in its purest form. This is that initial life spark, okay? And the new moon in Aries, this is the energy carrying us through this entire year. So we've got a whole year, you guys, about some pretty profound rebirth. Aside from that, Pluto is also going to be moving into the sign of Aquarius in this next couple of days. Revolutionary energy, very empowering. But to this numerology, the new moon in Aries 2023 happening on Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. If we break that down into its numerology, we get 3-2-1, okay? 1-2-3. So not only do we have a mirror reflection, we've got a countdown going on, okay? And then we've got the same build-up in progression on the opposite side. So we've got a countdown, 3-2-1, right? To this new moon in Aries, reflecting on 1-2-3, what we're building and what is to come next, okay? This is also happening at 1:23 p.m. Eastern time, exactly, 1-2-3, to sort of support the other 1-2-3 of progression and building, going forth this new process that is creating now, coming from the 1, progressing to the 2, progressing from the 3 to the 3 over the course of this next 3 years. That, the way I see it, the way this numerology is laid out, has a lot to do with what's been going on and what we've been coming out of, experiencing over the course of this last 3 years. Now, according to Universal Time, this is happening at 17:23, if the number 17 holds any special relevance to you in any way, but 1:23 p.m. So again, we've got this progression of energy going up, these 3-2-1, 1-2-3, ready, set, go, ready or not, like it's about to happen. We're blasting off in this whole new direction and it's about to happen fast, okay? Like I said, ready or not, here we go. We are shooting forward into the age of Aquarius. Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius in 2 days in a much more direct and tangible fashion than maybe, like I said, we've experienced up until this particular point in time. Big changes are going to be happening very fast throughout the course of this new moon and Aries cycle, and we need to look for and be open to receive new opportunities, okay? No looking back. The past no longer exists. That's a really important aspect of what's coming together now, how the energy is and what we sort of need to keep in mind. This is no longer the time to be sort of licking our past wounds or like looking back on what has been and where we've gone wrong and where we failed and where we haven't lived up to what we thought we were, whatever, or, you know, where we've been let down, this, that, the other, where we've been victimized. No, like this is the point in time for us to put our big boy and girl pants on and begin to step into the truth of our destiny, begin to step into our purpose, begin to activate our destiny, begin to recognize what and who we truly are, what and who we've always been meant to do and become, and go through the process of being and becoming that. No more holding ourselves back because we're viewing ourselves through this lens of victimhood as a result of this, that, or the other that's happened to us, and, you know, how it's kept us down or how it's held us back or how we suffered as a result of that. We need to be doing our best, and I think the energy is really going to be supporting us in this process of letting that stuff go, detaching from it, letting it fall away, and exposing to us, again, who we really are, what we can become, and who we've always been meant to be, if we could really like break ourselves free from this mental conditioning or these limiting belief systems of the past that held our potential hostage to whatever lack mentality or victim mindset we may have been operating under or within in that previous paradigm. We are shattering past paradigms, okay? The old matrix is crumbling and we are being reborn. We are going from the caterpillar to the butterfly, okay? It's not necessarily going to be a comfortable year, but it's going to be a valuable year in our experience and our own relationship to ourselves, and, you know, again, our interaction with the world, our recognizing of our potential and of our purpose, and the actual level of fulfillment that will come to us through cultivating that and stepping more into it as we go through this process. The position, the Sabian symbol position, okay, of the sun 0 degrees, we're rounding it to 1 degree, okay, because we're looking at the Sabian symbols. I read the Sabian symbols on this channel in alignment with the aspects of the astrology. What the Sabian symbols are, they are a group of symbols that describes each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever an aspect or a planet is at a specific degree, we can look at that degree and the symbol associated with it just to get an additional layer of symbolic meaning that can help us in interpreting like the overall purpose, or just give us a greater level of context in terms of whatever that aspect is doing. So I like to look at things from a numerology perspective, an astrology perspective, and a symbolic perspective as well. And so I really appreciate the Sabian symbols. Whenever we're reading Sabian symbols in association with any energetics, we round up a degree because we look at the wave of energy as it's coming in, as opposed to what is waning, dissolving, and going out. Okay, so with the new moon happening and it's happening exactly at 0 degrees 49 minutes, that is where the sun and the moon will come into their exact alignment, 0 degrees 49 minutes of the sign of Aries. We're going to be looking at 1 degree for our Sabian symbol. And what is that 1 degree where the sun and the moon are aligning? A woman just risen from the sea, a seal is embracing her. So in the context, right, of our transition from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius right now, and this really being kind of a bridging year where we are like actively transitioning, actively walking across this energetic bridge from the past matrix and the past paradigm to what is growing and becoming now in alignment with a much greater sense of collectivized, like individual self-empowerment, okay? That is one of the driving, motivating forces and factors of this transition that we have going on. But the Sabian symbol where the sun is for our new moon in Aries chart, defining the experience over the course of this year as we are going through this pinnacle transitional period of time right now, is talking about a woman just risen from the sea, just emerging out of this Piscean experience into the air, right? Into the realm of the air. We're going from the realm of the water to the realm of the air, from the world below to the world above, and all of the wisdom and understanding and perspective that we're going to gain from emerging from the depths and coming up to the heights of the heights, okay? We're going from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is an age of self-knowledge, self-mastery, self-understanding, okay? Self-awareness, this spiritual and conscious awakening that helps us move into a greater level of co-creation ultimately with God and universe. So we've got that being indicated by the position and the degree of the sun itself. And then we have to talk about Mars as well, you guys, because Mars rules the sign of Aries. Mars is ruling our new moon in Aries every year. And Mars is actually at in a very interesting situation right now. First of all, Mars is at 29 degrees of Gemini. Listen to this, you guys. I need to bring it back for a second. Before I read the Sabian symbol of Mars today, we just need to sort of reiterate, we have the new moon in Aries happening at 0 degrees of Aries within the same 24-hour period as the spring equinox. Both of these representing rebirth. We've got double rebirth energy going on, both representing, you know, the spring and this very transformative transitional process, okay? And then we've got Mars, the position of Mars ruling this lunar cycle today, 29 degrees of Gemini. That Sabian symbol is the first mockingbird of spring sings from the treetops. So it's going to be something that we are very aware of, you guys. The position of Mars, okay, the first mockingbird of spring sings from the treetops. Like, again, we're talking about the spring. This is, and we're talking about a bird, right? This is the mind, mentality, communication, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about. It's going to be on everybody's mind, these changes that are going on. It's going to be on whatever the topic of conversation. I expect lots of big, fast-paced news cycles and shifts in the narrative, okay? I think that there's going to be a shift in the narrative, in the public narrative, in the media narrative and stuff going forward too, that is beginning now, that is starting to represent more so this new energy, this new era that we're moving into, and less of the narratives of the past matrix that we are transitioning out of. So very, very interesting that would be the placement of, well, the sun and the moon, that we would have the new moon at 0 degrees of Aries for this very transitional year. But I mean, it makes sense also in the context of what we know is happening but also Mars just like being at that specific degree, referencing the spring. Like there is so much emphasis on the spring this year, which is that transition, which is that transformation, which is that rebirth. So this 2023 year, you guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be a series of cascading endings and beginnings. Throughout the course of this entire year, I think that we're going to see on one hand a continuous series of endings and collapses and things dissolving and disintegrating and like falling away under our feet. But on the immediate other side of that, like literally turn around and there's something that is just being built right under your feet going forward. There's like these endings that are happening, but they are being like immediately followed behind by these very new beginnings. And I'm telling you guys, these are going to be like revolutionary new beginnings. These are going to be like new beginnings that you never could have conceived of or imagined or thought of for yourself. With Pluto now about to be entering the sign of Capricorn, we are going through a massive time of transformation. And again, this past 3 years, I do feel like everything that's gone on, everything that went on with the Saturn-Uranus squares, everything that has been building, literally, like I said, the past 3 years, all the experiences that we've been through, I feel like have been preparing us for where we're at now, the dynamic changes that are underway, and who we're about to become in the process of discovering that, oh wait, I have wings and I can really fly. And, or like, oh, that chair that I've been chained to has only been an illusion this entire time, and I've always been strong enough to break away from that and like do my own thing and go in my own direction. Like, this is the internalized metamorphosis, the transmutation as well. I mean, we've got Jupiter and Chiron together. We're just rising into another era of our lives, and that is going to be important because, like I said, simultaneously, the matrix of the past is falling away throughout this period of time as well. Now, I do think that we are likely, like this entire year, first of all, we've got a Mercury-Mars mutual reception going on for our new moon in Aries. Mars is in Gemini, Mercury is in Aries. This is going to give us a very, some very fast-paced, sharp thoughts going on, and some very like good ideas are likely to come to us. Racing mind, desire to do something, desire to act, very like just fast-paced, action-oriented, gotta get something done, gotta like speak our mind and say what's on our mind. This is also a much more assertive energy. This is like having the courage to take a risk, to speak your mind about something. This is not backing down from a fight. This is not bending the knee. This is with Jupiter and Chiron, again, in the sign of Aries also, where our new moon in Aries is right now in a conjunction, ruled by Mars. This is the active spiritual warrior energy, like fighting for freedom and like fighting for truth and fighting for the ability to follow and pursue and act on these passions that we are re-identifying and reassociating with right now as well. So, you know, there is this very like active divine masculine energy that is coming through, I feel like, throughout the course of this year as well. And there may be some prominent male, especially maybe like younger male voices that are having a very like active impact on things unfolding and, you know, moving things actually in the right direction in a lot of ways over this period of time. But that's just sort of a side note. Literally though, just this whole new beginning, this whole new world, this fresh start, revolutionary energy, like I've said, extremely forward focused. It's time to drop the past, right? Like, we're not that caterpillar anymore. Like, we're the butterfly. Do you think the butterfly sits around like thinking about whatever happened to it when it was a caterpillar? No. Why on earth would the butterfly waste its beautiful butterflying ability and opportunity and everything that it gets to live and experience as a butterfly, dwelling on things that may have happened to it as a caterpillar? You know what I mean? Like, why are we going to diminish the opportunities that are coming to us now because of things that may have happened to us in the past that are associated with a version of us that doesn't even exist anymore? Okay, so it's the turning point, it's the reversal, it's the writing of things, and also the reflection point. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, first degree of Aries, 1:23 p.m., 17:23 p.m. Hold on to your hat, guys. Keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle. It's likely to be a bumpy road. We are in endings. We are beginnings. We are in radical, revolutionary transformations. We are ending one paradigm. We are transitioning into another paradigm. we're likely to go through some discomfort, okay, over this Aries new moon cycle, especially in terms of shifting financial dynamics and partnership dynamics and material like aspect of our lives, perhaps based dynamics of things as well. But you know what, like I said, like, this is our time, you guys. This is our time to shine. Like, these are the times that we came to this planet at this point in time to experience this like really profound shift of the ages, and we're playing a role in making it happen through how we interact with the energies coming through right now, and us rising to the occasion, like I said, stepping into our purpose, stepping into our destiny, and becoming, you know, one of the lights that is helping to illuminate the overall whole as we are moving into the age of Aquarius, which, you know, that is sort of the transition. We're going from sort of a spotlight that is shining down and illuminating everything from one central source to a much more like decentralized power source, and all of these little lights ignited within that are then illuminating like the whole collective. So that's sort of the transition. That is the process underway right now, but cracking paradigms, dissolving narratives, crumbling matrix, and big news, definite features of that process, I feel like, coming through this year as well. We have, like I said, Mercury and Mars in a mutual reception for our new moon. This is actually only a short-lived transit that we have going on this year, because Mars is about to exit Gemini and move into Cancer over this next couple of days. But for our new moon, we definitely have this present. And again, I do think that this will represent these fast-paced news cycles, revelations, okay, changing narratives, like I said, fresh perspectives, new ideas, freeing the mind, destroying a lot of the illusions, again, that we've been operating under that have kept us from seeing the truth of our own worth, our own value, our own potential, and the opportunities that are associated with that for us. We are beginning some new financial cycles right now as well. Another major aspect that we have playing out in alignment with this new moon is a conjunction between Venus and the North Node in her sign of Taurus for our new moon energy. This is also representing yet another new cycle, yet another springtime that is occurring. Venus and the North Node, the destiny point, coming together, beginning a new cycle of growth and development in relation to love and money, okay? Partnership dynamics, work dynamics, what we're building, what we're creating, what we're working on, what we value systems generally, worth, currency, money, economies, resources, food, agriculture, all of this stuff also simultaneously with our new moon in Aries beginning a new cycle of growth in alignment with the divine blueprint unfolding. This is the North Node of the moon. This is the destiny point. And of course, Venus conjunct the North Node means that Venus is opposite the South Node. The South Node is what we're releasing, what we're moving away from, what we're detaching from. And in Scorpio, this is any type of toxic attachments that have kept us from recognizing the truth of our value, the truth of our worth, and therefore have kept us in states of surrendering power to that which was blocking our growth in alignment with our authentic potential. North Node in the sign of Taurus right now, collectively, this is a process of getting back in touch, okay, with the truth of our value, the truth of our potential, our internal resources, and what we can do with those to create a sense of beauty or abundance or stability or material comfort, financial abundance, whatever, in our physical, tangible experiences and lives, okay? So, new cycle of growth and development in alignment with value, worth, love, money, okay? Uranus also currently in the sign of Taurus. This could happen in some shocking or sudden ways, but this new cycle along those lines that we are starting now is going to have to do with putting things right, is going to be rectifying things, and, you know, could be wiping out, but then again, endings and beginnings. Death and rebirth, the end of one thing that is not working and that has not been working in relation to value, and being replaced with something that is much more solid, much more stable, and a much better reflection of the value which it represents, or something along those lines. So that's really what we're looking at with that. We've got all of this springtime energy, we've got all of this newness coming in, we've got all of this like fresh start, rebirth, new beginning, and then also happening in the context of relationships. Like, I'm telling you guys, new people, new places, new opportunities, new jobs, new partnerships, new financial circumstances and situations, new mindsets, understandings, perceptions of ourselves. It's all coming, perceptions of reality, how we interact with the world around us. Like, it's all coming this year. Endings and beginnings in financial situations, like I said, work partnerships, things to do with food and resources, supply chains, agriculture, banking, currency, worth, value, values, value systems, material comforts, levels of abundance, and most specifically, again, issues to do with self-worth, self-love, personal value, personal values, material resources, skill, potential, how we can utilize them to create abundance, stability, and comfort externally in our lives while we may be going through a bit of this bumpy road, while the material matrix from the past, long-standing orders of power and control are sort of dissolved and transitioned into this next phase of human experience and growth that is coming with our entrance into the age of Aquarius. Back to basics, I do feel is going to be another like very prominent theme over the course of this astrological year. I think that we're going to be simplifying things. I think that we're really going to be like just the whole theme, like back to basics, value, quality, skill, and resourcefulness, kind of taking a prominence and becoming what we actually do value more than a lot of other things. Loss, release, persistence, and transcendence. The position of Venus, okay, and the North Node. The North Node for this new moon is at a youthful widow, fresh and soul cleansed from grief, kneels at an open grave to receive the secret of eternal life, okay? And then we've got the Venus, they're in a 1-degree orb conjunction. She's at 6 degrees of Taurus, a bridge being built across a high, narrow gorge. So, you know, I feel like this is talking about, again, like the death of something, right? Maybe that's been a part of our lives for a long period of time, and we may go through, you know, we may experience these feelings of loss, but we can't give in to these difficult emotions. We can't allow them to pull us back. We can't allow them to pull us under. The position of the South Node actually is massive rocky shore resists the pounding of the sea. There could be some very turbulent emotions that we're dealing with throughout the course of this year in regards to some of the things that we're losing and these cascading endings that we may be dealing with, but it's leading to the secrets of eternal life. What we're gaining through this process is bringing us back to life, is leading us towards this rebirth, this bridge across this high narrow gorge from our past selves and our past paradigms and our past reality and our past experience into this entirely new version that we are finding ourselves at on the brink of moving into and moving towards right now. So, you know, doing our best to really get in touch with ourselves. And again, this is not something that is just like, oh, it's the new moon in Aries and all of a sudden this energy is upon us. This energy has been pushing us to this point or bringing us to this point over this past 3 years. The experiences that we've gone through, what's fallen away, what we've had to like rise through and out of, you know, the struggles that we persevered through and the wisdom that we've gained through those experiences. This is the time where it's relevant. This is what it's all been leading towards. And it's not just this that it's been leading towards, it's what this will become over the course of the next 3 years that it's been leading us towards. So, you know, very like divinely orchestrated and synchronistic indications, energy coming through. 321, 123, 123 p.m., 17:23 p.m., 0 degrees of Aries, same 24 hours as the equinox, 1 degree of Aries, woman rising out of the sea, the seals embracing her, the first mockingbird of spring sings from the treetops. Big news that is shifting paradigm, waking people up as well, looking towards the sky. There's going to be an emphasis on things happening above us, on things going through the air, on new technology and stuff like that as well, with Pluto's entrance into the sign of Aquarius this year. Innovation, things to do with like healing in some very radical or revolutionary ways are likely as well. But again, I mean, let me just list off briefly all the aspects that we have playing out. I probably should have done this in the beginning, but you know, the big things that I'm looking at are the Mars-Mercury mutual reception that we have going on, and then Venus in the conjunction to the North Node. This is that new cycle, new financial cycle and relational cycle and value-based cycle that this is representing. We also have Saturn in a trine to the South Node in Scorpio. This is a karmic release, okay, from those attachments from the past that have been keeping us from coming into alignment with the truth of our higher selves. We also have, as I've mentioned many times now, Jupiter and Chiron in a 2-degree orb conjunction in the sign of Aries. Of course, our new moon is in the sign of Aries. The ruler of the sign of Aries, Mars, in the mutual reception with Mercury. This is telling me, again, this spiritual warrior energy for freedom, for truth, for conscious awakening, conscious awareness, and release out of this past paradigm into this new world. Like, this is what we're fighting for. This is what we're talking about. This is what the conversation is centering around, the changes that are taking place now. We also, of course, have Pluto, 29 degrees, 58 minutes, critical degree for our new moon in Aries. 2 more days, Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius, the death of the old world, the birth of the new, the like literal transition into the age of Aquarius, the transformation, the Phoenix rising energy. And then we do have Mars and Neptune also still in a square. This is just busting us out of that illusion. This is breaking down those self-limiting doubts, those self-limiting beliefs and ideas about, what we can't do or why we can't do it or why we haven't been able to do it in the past. Like, this is what is shaking us out of the paradigm where we were viewing our potential or our personal capabilities or potencies as any less effective than they actually are. We're waking up from the dream. We're waking up from the slumber. We're coming back to life, you guys, coming back to life. 0 degrees of Aries, the spark, the first mockingbird springs from the treetops, the woman arising from the sea, coming out into the air, the seals embracing her. She's about to step out onto land. She's breathing the air. New ideas, new information, new perspectives, new mindsets, new experiences, new opportunities. Our new self, our new person. We are becoming the butterflies, you guys. We are moving into the age of the air. We are coming out of the emotional baggage that may have controlled us in the past, or the situations that we may have been attached to because of faulty subconscious or emotional or mental programming. It's the shift of the paradigm, you guys. We're being re-inspired to live our best life again and to experience our true selves. And this year is going to see some major, major, major changes. Like I said, I do think it's going to benefit us this year to become as self-reliant and resourceful and dependent on ourselves to fulfill some of our needs as we can. I feel like this is going to be good for our mental health throughout the course of this year, because things like I've said, things could get pretty bumpy. We're going through some big changes, these cascading endings and beginnings, the old world falling away, the birth of the new world. Anybody who knows anything about the birthing process knows that it can be difficult, right? And things can get a little bit tense, okay? And a little bit sometimes uncertain at times, but the result is pure beauty and magic and life. And that's where we're going. That's what we're involved in. And the more confident that we can feel in our own selves, the more secure I feel like we're going to feel going through this process. And as a result of the internal security, the more likely we are to attract very secure opportunities and situations to ourselves externally. Okay. So that's another reason why I feel like it's important to kind of get in touch with ourselves and to just, even in little ways, even if we're not, providing all of our needs and everything like that, even if we just feel like we're capable of doing something, it's going to offset perhaps some of the discomfort that could potentially turn into fear if we are not just flowing with the energy in the proper way over this period of time. So the more secure we can feel in ourselves, the better we are going to deal with this energy going forward. The more confident, the more secure, the more we can trust ourselves as well. And again, that's another thing that this Mars square Neptune is doing, is breaking down any barriers to our ability to trust ourselves ultimately. So we are heading, you guys, it's big time, okay? This, like I said, this is it. These are the times that a lot of us are here to experience and to play an active role in. That's what we have to keep in mind. This is of course a 2,000-year process, and it's going to be happening gradually over time. It's not going to happen all at once. But if you're at a point right now where you are consciously aware of what's going on and you've kind of woken up to all of this stuff, and the past 3 years have put you in a place where you're sort of, conscious of what is playing out and, being activated in this energy, it's because you have a role to play right now. You have a job or a position to serve, and universe is calling you to do that and to play that role right now as a guide or an example for others going through this process. And not only that, because, you know, there are changes that need to happen and they can't happen without your direct involvement. Okay, so it's important, you know, the people that are conscious and aware of what's going on right now, that we are doing our best to flow with this energy and to get in alignment with, you know, what universe is calling for from us right now, so that we can assist in this process. The age of Aquarius, the transition happens not only on this energetic frequency based level, but also as a result of the people responding to the changes in the frequency and therefore altering their lifestyle, their behavior, their habits as a result. And then over time, as a snowball effect, all of a sudden we're coming from this place of self-actualization and self-mastery and co-creating our reality and living these age of Aquarius themes and vibes, because, you know, people figured it out initially, and then the hero's journey, what I always talk about, Chiron in conjunction to Jupiter, wisdom through experience, leading through experience. Like, that's just how it happens. Okay, so we're being the example for others, and we are doing our best to become our best selves in 2023. So it's the year, you guys, to step into our purpose, and the past 3 have been leading up to this. Like I said, what is happening now is going to directly impact the next 3 years. So be open to the opportunities that are presenting, the new relationships, the new people, the new situations, and no fear. Literally, the only thing we have to fear in this energy is truly fear itself, and we should be looking forward, okay, with hope and optimism for all of the new opportunities that will be created through things from the past and the old situations and stuff crumbling and falling away. Death and rebirth, coming to the end, starting something new, this very transitional process throughout the course of this year. I'm going to grab a synchronicity card now, just to get, you know, maybe a little mantra or some guidance or a piece of advice that we can use to just keep us centered and grounded through this day. Because, you know, remember, this is not just describing the entire year. We're also talking about the day. We're also talking about this Aries lunar cycle as well. People are probably going to be quite hot-headed, you guys. Tempers are probably going to be flaring. People are probably going to be lashing out, sort of losing it, maybe going off, ranting. This Mars-Mercury energy, you know, really cutting words as weapons and stuff, but also this very, very clear mind and a very effective ability to communicate. Taking risks are supportive. We do not want to be reckless. We do not want to be rash. We do not want to just be like out there wilding out. But, you know, Jupiter and Chiron in the sign of Aries, if we are coming and making decisions from the wisdom that we've gained from experience, this is going to be supported. We're going to have successful outcomes going forward. Finally, we got a card, and it says, sort your friends. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. Proverbs 11:29. Your house is your mind. Fill your mind only with thoughts of harmony, health, peace, joy, and goodwill. Likewise, choose only those friends who embody those same ideals. Having negative thoughts and negative friends is not the road you wish to take. Be discriminating, sort out your thoughts, and sort out your friends. You already know the answer to this, and this is what we're doing. This is what is happening. We are sorting out our friends, and we are also sorting out a lot of various areas of our lives, and universe is helping us with that, because again, we are detaching ourselves from the things that have diminished our growth, that have diminished our potential, that have diminished our faith and trust and belief in ourselves as well, and our connection to a higher power. Anything out of authentic alignment is going by the wayside. And this is literally this specific message that is coming from universe right now as well in that regard. You know, we are supposed to be being very careful moving forward, guarding our energy, okay? Because our energy is so important right now, because why we are in this shift and transition of ages, and universe needs us to get it together, needs us to get online, needs us to, you know, start really working to become our best self and step into our highest potential and, you know, activate our destiny and all of that. But sort your friends, you guys. That's what I have to say. New moon in Aries 2023, 321 123 123, 0 degrees of Aries, 1 degree of Aries, fresh starts, rebirths, all the way around. I apologize again for the yard work that's been going on outside. If you've been able to make it with me this far, I really hope it wasn't too annoying and disruptive. And that's what I have to say today, you guys. New moon in Aries. If you guys liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would like this kind of astrology content, be interested in what we've got going on now as well. Leave me comments, let me know, you guys, what's going on with you, how this energy is affecting you, if you're having experiences right now that are lining up with these ending and beginning themes as well. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, on Instagram, some other social media stuff in my description box below. If you're into any of that, come back with me, you guys. Not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I'm gonna have the video for Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius. This personal revolution, you guys, the empowerment of the individual and the collective of humanity, our real transformation into these more Aquarian vibrations and archetypes, big stuff, you guys, coming at us. So I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful new moon in Aries. And until next time, bye, guys.